Welcome back to Isis Talk. If you don't know already, my name is Isis. Isis. Or like the Liberian people like to call me, Azik. But when I was young, I loved my name. Like, this was a time where I thought each person had a unique name and no one else had it. But of course, when I got to kindergarten and preschool, there were like 3 Jacks and 5 Elizabeths. So I quickly realized that, maybe I'm not the only person named Isis out there. But for all my life, there has not been a single person that has had the same name as me in a school that I went to. So I thought that was pretty cool. But even though I still love my name now, there was a short time period when I didn't. Now today, I'm going to share a special essay with you. And it really just talks about how I feel about my name. The ups and downs I've gone through with my name. But we can't start with the ups and downs without having a little bit of background information. Go ahead and look up the name Isis. What do you think you're going to find? The Egyptian goddess? The comic book character? The supermodel? No. Basically, what I'm trying to say is when you look up Isis, the first thing you see is the Islamic terrorist group. The group is not called ISIS, it's more of an acronym that stands for Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. This group has become infamous around the world due to its heinous terrorist acts against civilians. Now, to go into more about what the Islamic terrorist group is, to start, this terrorist group says nothing about people from the Middle East. On every continent, you can find bad people. So let's not let bad people's action define an entire race, ethnicity, or religion. I'm just saying that because some people tend to forget that sometimes. With that being clarified, here's some background information on the Islamic terrorist group I found on good old Google, which can never fail you. So, the Islamic State group has had many different names. ISIL, ISIS, Islamic State, and even Daesh. So here's a little timeline. October 15th, 2006, Islamic State of Iraq forms of what remains of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. In April 2010, Baghdadi takes control of the group, which is gaining a following among Iraqi Sunnis and already claimed responsibility for a large attack in Baghdad. In April 2013, Baghdadi relocates to Syria and names the group Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, which is where you get the acronym ISIS. In June 2014, the group proclaimed itself a worldwide caliphate and began referring to itself as the Islamic State. So with all that information, the acronym ISIS pretty much stuck. So what did this mean for all the girls out there named ISIS? Whether you're born before all the Islamic terrorist group stuff even happened and your parents named you that, or your parents just really love the name. Well, I can't speak for all the girls out there named Isis, but I can tell you how I felt. A few months ago, when we were still in school, we had to write a narrative essay about either a memory that changed the way you view the world today, or paint a picture of what your name means to you and represents. Obviously, with a name so unique as mine, I decided to choose the name essay option. So the reason I am sharing my essay with you is that I thought I would share my point of view of my name and what it means to me. And maybe if you have the same name as me, or maybe you have a name where you might not necessarily like it, hopefully this essay will make you love your name again. Diaven is my middle name. A simple parable in Mana, my family's native dialect, which means you're hearing your own sound. I share it with my grandmother, Non Diaven Doma. I take great pride in sharing a name with a woman who supported her family as a medical doctor during the Liberian Civil War. It's one thing to protect yourself during a time of sour, feverish activity, but it's a whole other thing to ensure the safety of others while dodging bullets. She often calls me Diaven when she wants something special from me, but I do enjoy the fact that we share a special bond with our middle name. Kania is my last name. In Mana, it means to be my child. I share it with my mother and around 15 other people. Though most people cannot enunciate properly, it signifies a line of people who work hard and strive to do better. My middle name and last name are two important pieces of the puzzle, but the puzzle cannot be fully complete until one more piece is added. In Rome, my name is Athena, and in Greece, my name is Aphrodite. In Egypt, my name is Isis. My first name is Isis. It's a simple four-letter word that consists of two letters from the alphabet. It's not rocket science, just a cup overflowing with a history of love. A history that persuaded my mom to name me after the Egyptian goddess of love. Though I share it with many girls across the world, it belongs to me. When I hear my name enunciated among my friends, I feel like the most important person in the world. When said among my family, I feel ubiquitous. My name gives me a sense of my connection in this world, but yet good things never last forever. As I grew up, my name became a beautiful tree losing its leaves during fall. A tree with the hope that things would get better, but winter came. I didn't want the name anymore. I felt trapped in a cage, surrounded by hungry lions, and at the sound of my name, they would attack. When people heard Isis, their mind swiftly took them to the Islamic terrorist group, not the Egyptian goddess of love. The now pure substance quickly became contaminated with other elements. My mom and grandmother repeatedly assured me that I was named after the Egyptian goddess of love, and after a while, I started to believe everything was going to be okay, until a family reunion. This time, new faces were there. I didn't know them and they didn't know me. My grandmother and I decided to mingle and sit down at a table with older men and women. As we introduced ourselves one by one, I felt proud to let everyone know how I shared the same name as the Egyptian goddess of love, and the comic book character as well. But before I could even pronounce the last S in my name, a dark cloud appeared over the face of a distant family member. Was it shock? Was it pity? One woman let out a gasp, claiming she heard wrong, saying that how could someone name a child after an organization that had committed such heinous acts? My grandmother quickly shut down the conversation before one could even blink an eye. Everyone forgot, except me. It's crazy how quickly emotions and feelings can fluctuate in a split of a second. At that moment, the name that once tasted like the plantains my mom made for me when I came back from school now tasted of sour milk. I wanted to spit it out and dispose of it, but like a magnet, it stuck. From there on out, I saw it appear on the news every day, could feel it imprinting on the papers of every teacher's roll call at the beginning of the school year, and I heard it on NPR on the way to school. It was almost as hard to avoid my name as it was to avoid my own shadow. This prevented me from making new friends, running for positions in school, and wanting to attend award ceremonies. In the store, when my mom calls my name, I don't hear the African music she encouraged me to dance to. Instead, I feel 1,000 eyes upon me saying, "Is that your real name?" As if my name were Hitler. And I was ready to change my name for good. But then, I didn't. Why should I let others make me feel uncomfortable in my name? The name Isis is like holding liquid gold in your hands. One crack of a mean joke and you lose the precious person who possesses that gold. Those who have sly remarks or unkind comments about my name are not worthy of my time. But those who understand its true meaning and those who do not judge are. At this point, my name was a tree that survived winter, and that was now moving into spring. There in spring, I knew euphoria and hope would replenish the scars of winter. I read stories about girls wanting to change their name. Women rejected from jobs and stores vandalized because of a 4-letter, controversial word. It's like the Confederate flag or the Indian swastika, as it means different things to different people, but in the greater scheme of things, it has a negative meaning. Despite the negative connotation behind my name, I have decided to keep it. Not because my mother won't let me change it, but because it was given to me by a special person. My mother gave me a middle name that reminds me of my grandmother's accomplishments, a last name that makes me strive to do better, and a beautiful first name that relies on me to make it great again. A name that causes a smile to appear on the faces of my friends, a name that is more of an addition to personal identity than a description. A name so brittle that hate and fear almost broke its branches. But in the end, spring came with its love and helped the tree blossom again. Thank you for listening, and I hope all of you have a great day.